All right, so good morning. Happy Thursday. We're almost to the weekend, right? So excited. Anyways, so today we are on episode 9 and we are going to talk about the same personalities that maybe you married the same person. Okay? So if we're meeting for the first time, my name is Brianna Anninger, and I am passionate about empowering and inspiring people just like you to truly wake up and live. So today we're going to talk about the same key. And what this means is that I know probably a lot of you have heard that opposites attract. And this whole series that we have talked about is when people that are the opposite personality that they usually get in a relationship and get married. Well, this chapter is talking about how when you have the same personality and you're in that relationship. So, hi Debbie, good morning. Thank you so much for joining. So, for those of you that haven't been following the series, I just want to give a little bit of a review of the different personalities just so you guys can understand. So we have the phlegmatic. The phlegmatic personality is when very easygoing, very much of a hard worker, but doesn't really like to be in the spotlight, very much of kind of like a wallflower. And then we have the melancholic. The melancholic is very analytical, very much a perfectionist, and yes, that's them. And then we have the choleric. The choleric is where they very much are in charge. They can come off very bossy, but they are very driven people. And then we have the sanguines, the life of the party. They always want to have fun and very carefree. And so we honestly are, we have all 4 personalities. They all make us up. And so that balances us. And usually what happens is that we are attracted to the opposite because it usually brings out our best. Well, in this chapter, chapter 9, in the same key, we're going to talk about the same personalities. So you can only imagine if we talk about the phlegmatic, if we have 2 phlegmatics in a relationship, they're very easygoing and they just do not want conflict. If they're in a relationship together, then you can imagine that they are the ones that probably don't talk about their problems. They stuff them. And that could be very detrimental to a relationship because resentment builds up. So just like we talked about yesterday, if you missed my live yesterday, we talked about how your strengths can become your weaknesses. Well, the same thing is when you're in a relationship with the same person, that you need to have that discussion of, what your strengths are and how they can become weaknesses, and just to be aware. And to have that understanding that if a spouse sees them act a certain way, that they can talk to them and say, hey, when you do this, it really bothers me. So that's very important for a phlegmatic. Now, if you have 2 sanguines, the life of the party in a relationship, then you can imagine their relationship is about always going out, always meeting friends. And they could be probably the most fun couples that if you go on like a double date or something like that they would be very fun to be around because they feed off of each other. And then if they're in a relationship, they know each other, and so they can like finish each other's sentences, and everyone that's involved think that it's a great time. But what ends up happening is that when the sanguines get home, that they kind of get into kind of a competition with each other. So it's very important to, again, have that open communication, that when you are 2 sanguines, that you guys, that because of that carefree personality, there has to be someone to kind of step up to the plate. And like when bills are due and things like that, that there needs to be that understanding. And then, good morning, Debbie. Good morning, Tiffany. And then when we have the 2 melancholics. The 2 melancholics are 2 perfectionists. So obviously their house is spotless, right? And the only thing is with those 2 personalities, how they conflict is that they each have high standards, but the high standards are different. So if they don't communicate those high standards between each other, then one person is going to feel like that person isn't doing enough. And so again, we need that communication. And then we have, did I go through all of them? I think I did, right? No, the cholerics. Oh yes. So if you have two cholerics in a relationship, oh goodness, right? Because they're the ones that are the bosses and want things done. So if you have two cholerics, then they're probably bossing each other around. So this is super, super important to have that open communication, to have that understanding that, that not to boss each other around. It's very important to have respect in all of our relationships. So those are the personalities that if you are the same, and those are my tips, that just to really have that open communication, to talk to one another, and really do that exercise from yesterday's series. You can go in and I posted the strengths and the weaknesses, and sit down and really talk to your spouse about like what you feel is your strength and how it has become maybe a weakness in the relationship, and then it can improve. Okay? So I'm super excited that you guys joined me today. I hope you guys have a great Thursday. We're almost to the weekend. Tomorrow's Friday. And guess what, you guys? This is the last episode tomorrow's of the series. It will be episode 10. And we will be talking about creating your own unique song. So what it's going to be is kind of a summary of our 10 series tomorrow, and how to apply them in all of our life and to make that unique song of our relationship. So I'm so happy that you guys joined me, and if you found this helpful, go ahead and comment helpful. If you watched the live, go ahead and comment 1. And if you are on the replay, go ahead and comment 2. And I would love to hear where you're tuning in from, or if you're new to watching me, go ahead and comment new. Okay? So I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Okay, bye.